Here are the answers for the warm-ups on May 11th. So it says plot the point at -5, 3. So the first number is always the x-axis, so I go to -5. And the second number is the y-axis, so I will go up +3, and that is where they meet. And it says to reflect across the y-axis. So this is the y-axis, and the reflect across simply means we're going to pick this point up, and we're going to put it down in the exact same distance on the other side of the axis. So it's nice and symmetric. So as I do this, and I look and see how it's 5 units away from the y-axis, so now it's going to be 5 units on the other side of it. So its new coordinate will be +5, 3. Number 2, a circle has a diameter of 10 units. What is the circle's area and circumference? So diameter implies the entire distance across the circle going through the middle. But the formula for the area of a circle is taking the radius times pi. So you have to understand that the radius means halfway across. So to find the area of this circle, we would have to do the radius of 5 times the radius of 5 and then times pi. So you could just write the answer as 5 times 5 is 25 times pi, or you could multiply 25 by 3.14. Just to make sure when you label it, because it's area of a two-dimensional shape, that you do, in this case, because I used units, you would just do units squared. And also for the circumference, its formula is diameter times pi. So the diameter is given to you as 10, so you could just say 10 pi is your diameter, your circumference, or you can multiply 10 times 3.14, which is 31.4. And when you label it, it would just be units, not squared, because circumference is representing one dimension. And our third question, looking to simplify, and this is what today's lesson will deal with. So 5 to the third times 5 to the fifth. The basic law is if you have the same bases, which means in this case you have 5 and 5, when you multiply those values, you can actually add the exponents and you get 5 to the 8th. And the reason for that is if I show you 5 to the third and I multiply it by 5 to the fifth, you can see how many total 5s are being multiplied, and there are 8 of them. So the second problem, I have bases of x, so I just used a variable. But because they're both the same, x and x, you keep that, and again, we will just add the exponents, see how many total x's are being multiplied in all. So you get x to the 11th. And the last one, we have 2 to the 7th times 2 to the negative 7th. So a negative exponent can be a little trickier to work with. However, if we remember the little shortcut where we just add the exponents together, if I add 7 and negative 7, I get 0. So it's actually going to be 2 to the power of 0. And you might recall that any value to the power of 0, excluding 0, is going to be equal to 1. So you could write the answer like this, or just say it is 1. And the reason for that, if I multiply 2 to the 7th power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you multiply that by 2 to the negative 7th, that is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over 2, so on and so forth. So what happens is all these 2's end up canceling out, or you get giant 1's to be exact, and 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 all the way across gives you the answer of 1 for that.